Hi, and welcome to the Margaret E. Heggan Public Library. I'm Miss Jennifer. Today, for another Book Bites, we'll be celebrating the really cold winter. You know what else is cold? Nifelheim, the land of the frost giants. In the series, Magnus Chase by Rick Riordan. This book specifically is the 9 from the 9 worlds, where each short story is from each 9 worlds. We're going to be reading about the world of Nifelheim, the land of the frost giants. For chapter, So's Your Face by Mallory. Dragon scales, standing in a floor 19 hallway, half-empty pizza box in hand, I glared at half-born Gunderson. He'd opened his door just a crack. You're seriously telling me you're traveling to Nifelheim to get dragon scales ass? Straight from the dragon, no less? It's for a little project I'm working on. The shirtless berserker avoided my eyes. Coward. I tried to push my way in, but on again and off again boyfriend set his massive foot against the slightly door jar, making our relationship dangerously close to off again. That's the way you want to play it? Fine. I snatched a slice of pizza from the box, slapped him in the chest with it, and stormed off. Mallory, wait! When I didn't stop, half-born swore a blue streak and slammed his door. Maybe he was looking for his room key, planning to follow. Well, I didn't want to see him or his pizza-stained chest anymore. So I bypassed my room, yanked open a random door, and stalked through slamming a Hemi. Then I literally froze. Oh, fickle winter! Hotel Valhalla has countless unmarked doors. Most are shortcuts to other areas of the hotel. A few lead to other worlds. Just my luck. I'd exited right into Nifelheim, the land of endless sleet and ice, and plenty of frost giants. Even luckier, a blizzard was raging around me. Cursing, I dug a small square of fabric out of my pocket, handmade by Blitzen. It unfolded into a thick hooded parka, infused with knots, fire magic, courtesy of Hearthstone. Ever since I journeyed to Nifelheim to help stop Loki, long story, I made sure to carry it with me. Nestled in its warm embrace, I turned back and groped for the doorknob. There wasn't one. No door either. Instead, I found myself peering at a mile-high wall of solid ice. A glacier? You got to be kidding me! I scrubbed a circle in the frost and peered into the glacier to see more ice. I pounded on the slab, attacked it with my twin daggers, kicked it, and screamed at it. I worked up a good sweat, but if Hotel Valhalla was somewhere on the other side, I wasn't getting back the way I came out. I sheathed my daggers, put a hand on the glacier, and began walking, trailing my fingers on the icy wall to feel for a door, a knob, a window, something. Then the wall ended, and my frozen fears plunged into a massive snowdrift. Growling with frustration, I shoved my hands in my pockets and turned back. The glacier was the only connection I had to the hotel, and I didn't want to lose sight of it. I only got a few steps when I heard a muffled thudding in the distance. I paused. The thudding grew louder and closer. Frost giant. Possibly struck me like a slush ball in the face. I knew from past experience that some frost giants were friendly. They weren't the ones I was worried about. A solitary figure loomed into view through the driving snow. My first thoughts were, how can he not be freezing in those short shorts? My second was, jump! I leaped to one side of his door, pounded past. Hey, wait! I started after him, but immediately skidded to a halt. Thor was letting out farts like a sputtering engine, and a cloud of noxious fumes enveloped me. Gods of Asgard! I waved in my hand in front of my face. What crawled up inside him and died? Coughing, eyes smarting, I almost failed to recognize the one plus of the situation. Ever heard a phrase like a hot knife through butter? Well, substitute fart stream for knife and snow drifts for butter. Thor's gas was melting a wide trail that made walking through Nifelheim 100 times easier. I figured he would eventually end up in Asgard, so I followed him in his smelly wake. Unfortunately, Thor was too fast for me to keep up. Then the blizzard filled his trail, obliterating it completely. I swallowed my rising panic and pushed on through the stinging snow. For a while, all I heard was the whine of the wind and my own heavy breathing. But then, a new sound entered my mix, a gurgling, like water. I stopped thinking. Water might mean a river or a stream. Maybe I could follow down Nifelheim. With Thor's trail gone, it seemed that was like my best option. I detoured and headed toward the sound. The air gradually warmed, and I quickened my pace. The driving snow changed into fat, wet flakes that gave way to thick gray mist. I took off my parka and folded it back into a square and stuck it in my pocket. The gurgling changed to a bubbling, like water coming to a boil. I paused. Good thing I did. The fog parted momentarily to reveal a vast, steaming body of water directly ahead of me. A few more strides and I stepped up the steep bank into its inky black depths. What is this place? My mind shifted through my knowledge of the 9 worlds and came up with the answer. It's Helgelmir. The hot springs surround the roots of Yrzodel. Yes! I did a little happy dance. If I could get to the tree's roots, I could climb Yrzodel back to Asgard or some other more hospitable world. Peering through the mist, I could just make out the twisted and humped roots sticking out of the black water like the knees of the cypress tree. Only much, much bigger. I caught a quick glimpse of Yrzdodel's trunk stretching skyward from their midst before the steam shrouded it from my view. So my Nifelheim exit was out there. Getting to it, however, presented some problems. I'm a decent swimmer, but I wasn't convinced I could make it across Helgelmir without being boiled alive by the hot spring water. With my inherent power, I could have tried jumping the whole expanse, but the mist made it difficult to see where the water ended and the roots began. If I must judge the distance, who knows where I might land? There's got to be a way, I thought. I circled the pool. On the opposite side, I spotted an undulating root stretching to the shoreline like a long section of roller coaster. It was treacherously slick with humidity and green moss, but it was the only bridge I could see over the water. Sweat beating down my face and hands feeling purchased, I crawled across root inch by inch. After what seemed an eternity, I reached the other side. I rolled off the moist, loomy earth. I picked my way through the outer roots and sat against one near Yrzdodel's to catch my breath. The root twitched. Gasping, I scrambled back. Nothing in my memory banks said Yrzodel could move. I looked closer at the root. It was brown and green, but unlike the other mossy roots, twisting around it, this root looked decidedly scaly. While my mind processed that fact, I heard a chewing sound. My heart sank. It was not a root, it was Nidhogg's tail. In my rush to get to Yrzodel, I had forgotten about Nidhogg, the dragon that lives at the world tree's base. Nidhogg spends his days gnawing on the tree roots and trading taunts with an eagle that nests in the treetops. Ratasak, the giant insult squirrel, acts as a go-between, delivering message from the roots to the treetop and back again. Now I myself am a fan of the barbed word. Insults come in handy with an oafish lout like half-born. But to cast aspersions upon one another for millennia, the way the eagle, the dragon, and the squirrel do, I'll never let go or reach that level of dysfunction. Nidhogg, green and brown body, was coiled around the base of the tree. To climb out of Nifelheim via Yrzodel, I'd first have to climb over Nidhogg. That prospect did not thrill me, especially when I spied the claws on his powerful back legs. I moved to look for the dragon's head, always know where the dangerous mouth parts are, is my motto, and put my foot right into a pile of bones. Crunch. Apparently, Yrzdodel's roots weren't the only thing Nidhogg gnawed on. I unsheathed my daggers, expecting a dragon to attack at the sound. Instead, he muttered to himself, "That eagle thinks he's all that. Well, my new insult will be is so scathing he'll molt his feathers. Now, if I have to do is think it up." A gleam of hope sparked inside me. Nidhogg needed an insult. I had a million of them. Maybe we could cut a deal. One eagle bashing zinger for a safe passage up the tree. No guaranteeing the hog wouldn't devour me on sight, of course, but it was the only plan I had, so I went for it. I kicked the rib cage off my foot and swaggered around a tree as if I owned the place. Hey there! Huh, I wonder if the dragon will eat her and if she'll get up Nezhadel to go home to Asgard. Well, if you want to find out, read The Magnus Chase, 9 from the 9 Worlds by Rick Riordan, a great collection of short stories from Norwegian mythology. Well, I'm Miss Jennifer, and this was another Book Bites.